Hey everyone, this is Trent here at Precision Transmission. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, what I want y'all to do is, if y'all wouldn't mind, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, go hit that notification button, go give us a huge thumbs up so we can keep these videos rolling. But today, we have an 05 Chevy Corvette in the house. The gentleman just bought the vehicle. He hasn't even got to really drive it. He first got into it, has some really nice stuff done to it already, but just has some mix match things that need to be done. The transmission has been built before. I don't have it here. It's actually on the teardown table, which we're going to be back there shortly. But I just kind of wanted to show y'all a little bit about what a Corvette's about. Kind of how things work. You have the motor in the front. It drops everything down to like a flex plate through what's called a torque tube to another flex plate coming to our torque converter, and you have your transmission here, and then you have your rear differential here, CV axle comes out, and then you have your cradle. These things, if you get your hands on them, they can work good in a buggy. Really cool, honestly. You could LS swap a buggy if you wanted to. We're going to show y'all kind of what that's about in there on that transmission, the design of it, and why it's so cool. So we're going to come here. If we'll look here, this is our differential. So here's a plate. This thing, it just sets in here. It seals on the outside, and it has a special seal in this plate here that keeps the differential fluid in the differential. And then we actually have a special seal that keeps the transmission fluid in the transmission. These seals are exactly the same. So this seal will go in the tranny seal will actually go in here. I'll show y'all. So Cody, let them see that. We're gonna walk back here, and we're gonna get to our transmission. So things have been really busy here. We're trying to clean up, do things a little different. We got my dad over here working on his beautiful ride. This is his 2003 Dodge Ram 3500. He's had it brand new since day one. Since day one, they took it out to the racetrack and delivered it, right? So that's his pride and joy right there. That's a beautiful, beautiful ride. Twin turbo, it makes over about 700 horsepower, 1400 torque, guys. So let me tell you, don't pull up to that truck at a red light. You might be disappointed. Got the Dirty Bird in the air, got the nose looking good. Dad's been doing a lot of work here, trying to relieve a little bit of stress off of him. I'm trying to take care of a little bit while he's getting to have fun, and then we're just keeping it switching vice versa. So we got Cody, he's running around everywhere. He's actually videoing behind the camera today. Thank you, Cody, I really appreciate you very much.
Yes sir, no problem.
So that's Patrick's Corvette on the lift in there. We got his transmission on the table. And you're gonna notice right off the bat, this 4L60E looks pretty funny. I think Cody, this is probably his first or second one out of a Corvette, right?
Second one.
Second one you've seen? So the output shaft is totally different. That goes into the differential. The bell housing configuration is totally different on a Corvette, but the transmission internals on the inside are interchangeable. You can't do the case. The case is not. The case is very special. The shaft is special. This bell is special. But everything else will retrofit. Also, like we were talking, you ever get a crashed Corvette or anything, you want to build a high horsepower buggy, transmission, rear end differential, things like that, that's the way to go, guys, okay? So I'm sure they're doing it, and it can be done. I couldn't imagine what it's going to be like when they start doing 2021 Corvettes and motors and transmissions in the back. That's going to be awesome. So what we have here, check this out, Cody, before we get started. So this is part of our overhaul kit, rebuild kit, performance kit, whatever y'all guys would like to call it. We have our wide band. This is a 2/4 band. Your one from factory is quite a bit narrower, made out of a different material. We have our 3/4 clutch, which is called a Z-Pack. We got 14 clutches here instead of your factory 6 clutch. Hardened shell. You can see here on our transmission filter that it is a little bit different than your 4L60E, and we'll show y'all why on the pan here shortly. We got our boost valve for the pump. We're going to be changing this thing up quite often, not quite often. We're going to be changing this thing up quite a bit. Reason why is they're going to be camming it. It's already got headers on it. Corvette already runs good as it is, so we really want to make sure this thing is working correctly for this guy, and he's not going to have any issues. So let's get to the transmission. This thing has been built before, but we can see here instantly a built before transmission normally does not have a factory converter in it. Of course, you can get a factory style converter, but that is very rare that you see somebody just install a factory converter back in the vehicle. So we're going to be getting him a 2000 2500 stall to be installing back in this vehicle. Cody, does that fluid look terrible or what?
Looks like chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk. And you see that hub? Hub's ate up really good from the pump. This is a used converter, I can tell you. This is not anywhere new. So we're just going to set that to the side. As I was saying, we are going to be installing a 2000 stall 2500 into this unit. We're going to get our lockup seal off here. Going to go for our bell housing bolts. Had to give her, turn her up a little bit. This unit has been built somewhere in town. Paid good money for it, and you can already see we got a stock converter out of the deal so far. Here's those 2 seals we were telling y'all about. They are special, but they will retrofit. This seal's the same as the differential seal. The differential seal's the same. They're both exactly the same. So, pretty cool little seal. What they do is, like we're talking, this seal keeps the transmission fluid inside the transmission. This seal runs here and keeps the differential fluid inside the differential. These seals start going bad, or that O-ring, you can possibly start seeing fluid dripping out your adapter right here. Well, I can't grab my cat. Put those in pretty good. Save those. We like to save those. They definitely keep a clean floor when you're moving things around. So what we have is, here we have your 2/4 band apply and your 3rd gear accumulator. So that thing does actually 3 things. It applies something and then accumulates something as well. Funny is almost like this is another junkyard unit. You know, junkyards, they'll mark these things up like crazy, but at the same time, I'm not for sure. You know, they said it was rebuilt. Who knows if they didn't pull another transmission out of a used vehicle and stick it in there. These days, I don't doubt anything. Flip this over. It only has the place where you can get to it right here. Normally, on some of these, they have a place here and over here. On your 4L60E, I don't have another case to show you, but they didn't, so I had to flip that over and do that just like that. Set that to the side. So this is your 4th gear apply piston. It's in your cover here. That's what applies your 4th gear. When it goes into 4th, it applies the band. This is your 2nd gear. We already have a Corvette servo, but our biggest deal is we're going to be checking pin wear. And you put good seals on this, and if your pin is wore out on the body, it is no good. Oh, running away from me. Okay. Oh, one more thing before we go. I got a regular 2-wheel drive 4L60E output shaft. Okay. We notice we're the same here, but as we start getting to where our seals run for our differential and the transmission seal, it's different. It's not machined. So your output shaft is not the same. So you cannot use that. Okay. Get our torque converter bolts out. Torque converter bolts, pump bolts out. Okay, everything looks good, everything's off. We're gonna flip it over. Okay. So, as you can see here instantly, as soon as I turned it over, we have a dimple in the pan. So these transmissions sit funny in the car. This allows fluid to sit really deep, and this dimple, which you'll notice, it actually sits in there. Sits like this. When we take the pan off, you'll notice it, okay? I'm gonna show you. I just wanted to show you before. So I haven't even seen what the pan looks like, Cody, so me and you are going to be the first ones. You ready?
Check her out.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Dude, that's pretty rough. Okay, so as you can see here, we got our filter. Fluid's really bad, but like I was telling you, filter sits right in there, just like that. But bad thing about that is everything sits in the bottom. Look at that. Your filter is going to suck it up. So, you know, you got to be on these things, changing the fluid, servicing them correctly. If you don't, they will not last at all. Go ahead and get all of our wiring harness off of here. And we do just have a 4L60E, no 60, not a 65. If we had a 65, we would have some wiring coming over here, and we would actually have a reluctor and some wiring running in here to the input shaft on a reluctor that actually drops pump pressure at idle for mileage. Good old EPA. All about that gas mileage. Okay. I just stabbed my glove. At least it was the glove, not my finger. Get our TCC lockup solenoid out of our pump. that to the side. This is your 1-2 accumulator, your second gear. It is so simple. Sorry guys, let me get my, this is your shifter detent linkage here. This is what you hear when you're tick, 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 tick. This ball right here is rolling over these lands. That's what you're feeling on the shifter. It's easy to mess up. I know my dad has told y'all plenty of times, but these 3 bolts are special. This little L shape here. If you put them anywhere in the case here, they will go in, but they will touch parts inside the transmission. So don't do that. That's a no-no. Here we have our manifold pressure switch. This is what tells you not what gear you're in, but first, second, third. This is what tells the transmissions, things like that. These are little pillow switches here. Kind of hard, it's really, really dirty. But it just presses those to where it knows what gear it's in. So, and then you have your neutral safety switch on the side, which tells you in the dash what gear you're in as well. So it's probably not going to be blocked or anything. We're going to be looking at our pulse width modulating valve here, and it's not, it's free. Can you look in there, Cody? This valve right here. Can you see that moving a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But we're going to block that totally to where when lockup comes on, it comes on nice and firm, not slipping, but not too hard at the same time. Wiring harness is special. We're going to change it. Or it's not special. A 4L65E is special, but we're going to change this one. Didn't have any fluid in the plug, but we're going to make sure. And here, I guess I'll put the mic. Y'all hear that? So what that is you got a cylinder in here, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If that's stuck, you can have actually lockup stuck on or stuck off and not have lockup. Yeah, a little magnet. So we got all of our check balls here. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Accumulator, man. You want to get coated with fluid today, Cody?
No, I'm good.
I'm just kidding.
I'd rather not.
Come on. Okay. So we're going to do a little work to this. This is our 1-2 accumulator. We're going to stand this piston up. If you can see here, it's at the very bottom. So we're going to change that quite a bit before we put it in there. We're going to shorten the travel on it, change things up. Okay. So we do have a set of bonded gaskets on our separator plate here. Yep, bonded gaskets. You can change the filters here. Your filters are not in the plate. On your 65s and some of the later models, these filters here are actually, it's in the gasket itself. So if these are torn or anything, you have to get a new set. You can't buff these off, take them off. I mean, you'll ruin the plate, so don't do that. Just go ahead and get you a new one. Okay, I was worried about that. I was going to rip that, but it didn't. Everything looks really nice on that. We have our one check ball here. So they've already messed with this a little bit. They took the spring out and they just put the piston in it. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to totally block that. We're just going to make it to where it doesn't move at all. I knew better. It just got cocked a little bit, so we had to change it. All right, that's everything there. We're gonna get our parking pawl linkage out. Make sure to grab our manual linkage. You wanna make sure this thing is in park. If it is not, you will not get to that bolt right there. Okay, now to the inside, the guts, the good stuff. Oh, okay, so we're gonna start seeing some carnage right off the bat there. So if we can actually see here, our pump stator bushing has actually slid out and went backwards towards the rear of the car and started eating a bunch of stuff up. I mean, our stator or pump, it's no good. So we're gonna get this apart, see kind of what we can salvage out of it, if anything. Once it starts getting metal down in the inside, where all your rings run here, it's not good. That feels nice. Might be able to put a new stator in that. Fix that. And our pump body. And that's just showing the shadow. That looks really good. I think we're gonna be lucky here. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Last but not least, your spring. Man. Well, that customer's lucky there. Our body's good. Our body's good here. We're gonna need a new stator. We're gonna have to get that checked out. Get our 2/4 band anchor popped up here. You see that? Get that popped up. If you don't, it makes it really tough to get that band out. You'll never get the drum and everything past it if you don't. Ooh. I'm getting a little messy here. Trying to get some of this stuff out of the way. There's a squeegee. Our beautiful rubber squeegees that someone said doesn't work. As long as you use them and get them right out of the oil, they last a while. So just after you're done with it, clean it off. It's not that hard. So we have our second gear drum, your reverse clutch here. And it is not looking too good so far. This drum's probably no good with the hot spots that it got on it. Reverse clutch, not too bad. Yeah, that drum's no good. I don't even think, this isn't even a full straight edge, but we can see, if I had a light, I could see the shadow under that. I can just look at it and I can see, and I can tell you this drum is no good. So we'll be putting a new drum in it, new stator. This was the next part. Yep. Okay, so our input shaft is no good. If you actually look here, Cody, it's ground this out almost. And then where the bushing and the stator runs, this goes like this. This all goes down, all the way down there, just like that. And since that started making metal, making carnage, there's nowhere for that to go. So it just ate everything up and was pumping it through. So we're gonna need a pump stator, we're gonna need the input shaft, we're gonna have to see and check if we need a drum. Let's get this apart real quick. So this is your 3/4 clutch here, your forward clutch, and your engine braking clutch is all in here. I'm getting your 3/4 clutch out right now. What was left of the 3/4 clutch, I would say. So we do have our load springs, which that's a good thing. I can't tell you if they're good or not. Nope, they're no good. So I can tell you right now I have a high spring and a low spring. So we'll be putting new low springs in this thing. Your 3/4 clutch is just gone. We call that a half, or if any. I mean, there's nothing left. It's gone. And then these are supposed to be flat. Can you see that, Cody? See how wavy they are?
Yep, you can see right through 'em.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, okay, that's our 3/4 clutch right here. If you see our bearing came off right there, want to just go ahead and check that. We'll clean it up later, do a double check on it. So now we're coming in here, going to our forward clutch. So this is your little 2 clutch engine braking clutch right here. Sprag turns to the left, locks to the right. Depends on how you hold it. So y'all guys pay attention. I mean, if you're holding it just like this, then spin to the left, lock to the right. We have your forward clutch here. Getting some wear on it, you can tell it was old. So it looks like some old stuff, you know, for this being a rebuild. Not a very good rebuild, but our drum looks good. Shaft's gonna have to change. We might have a drum out there just ready to go, so I don't have to press that out, put it back in, work a lot better. Okay, so we have a factory band, toasted, barely anything left. That's your 2/4 band right there. We're gonna come in here, and we're gonna get our intermediate planted out. And what's cool with the Corvette, oh, I got it halfway out, and then it's got stuck. There it goes. What's cool about a Corvette, 5-pinion planets. A lot stronger than a 4-pinion, which this is a factory pinion for a Corvette. They updated to 5-pinion, so we weren't breaking a 4-pinion. But where they wear at is right here. want to get my finger. Get something a little smaller. Okay, so this is where they were at. You see that? See that pitting? So this is no good. Which I have a good one right here. Got a good one right here. So we'll be putting that in. Set that stuff to the side. Grab our shell. 4-tab plastic washer. Shell doesn't look bad, but we will be replacing it. We're going here for our low reverse clutch and support, and low reverse sprag or roller clutch. Anti-clunk spring. You guys don't want to lose that. It's one of the last things that you pull out of the case. I know we talk about that quite often. So right here we have our low reverse clutch. So this guy is, he's going to be doing a little bit of manual shifting. So we're going to be changing this up a little bit, getting rid of the wave to where we can strengthen this up a little bit and make it a lot better for him. We do have our wide low reverse roller clutch. Looks really good. Our 5-pinion planet in the lower. And we'll be cleaning this stuff up. Just because it looks good doesn't mean anything. We got to go through and check all this stuff out. You know, none of our pins wobble. All of our bearings are still smooth. Gears still look good. No pitting. We'll be checking all that out. Same here with your ring gear. And we can actually see it's hard to tell. We're going to clean it up, but it looks like we might have a little pitting on the outside of that edge right there. This thing had some metal ran through it, so when you have metal ran through a transmission, you're going to see that stuff because it's going to pump it through. It pumps it through this shaft here, and it's squirting everything out of these holes. These are your lubrication feed holes. So it's going to lubricate everything, and then it's just going to grind it up, and you get what you get. This kind of sucks that it's like this because it is going to be a little bit more. We got a little hard part damage we're going to have to talk to our customer about because we did not expect that. He did drive it in. This is your pump seal here. You remember your O-ring that used to go around your pump here. They've put it in here, and when you go to bolt on your bell housing, it tightens everything down, and then you torque your pump down to where everything works correctly. Man, I think we can hang with this. It is very dirty, a little tore up. I don't think he got the build that he was expecting to get. He definitely didn't get the build he was expecting to get. Kind of check out some of them parts there, but he will get the build we promised him here at Precision Transmission. We don't do some of this stuff even in our regular grandma cars. The reason why is we're just here for longevity, durability, keep you on the road no matter who you are. If it's your grandma's car or if it's your race car, we want to keep you on the road lasting for a long time, guys. So that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. So you know what to do. If you liked it, go hit that like button. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that notification button. You never know what you're gonna miss. Don't miss it.